Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the recap. I'll be your ship's fun lieutenant this afternoon, and I'm Laz. So let's talk about the market. We started the morning call. We said all eyes would be on the banks. There was a very, very lackluster, what I call a tepid, opening. We really didn't see that large breakaway gap, that I think traders were looking for, whether it was positive or negative. We opened mild, although right before the market, about 15 minutes before the open, you saw some buyers stepping into JP Morgan and trying to push it. And as the market opened, boom, Wells Fargo and JP just jumped, as did the broader indexes. And the roller coaster ride continues. The non-directional, the pops, the drops, that continues to be the theme here for trading. Let's take a look at what I mean. I talked about this lower in the morning call. I talked about this rising trend line. I said we really, we broke down below it yesterday, but we didn't really get that substantial sort of, sell-off that you would anticipate on a break of a trend line. And today we're right back into sort of the thick of this, whatever you want to call this pattern, this choppy, non-committed, type of trading environment where, you see big red bars, big green bars, you look back to the left, big drops, big rises in price. But it's a zero-sum game. Net market doesn't seem to make a whole lot of trending progress. One day doesn't make a market. One down day doesn't make a market. One up day doesn't make a market. So you have a lot of, day trading opportunities for those that are coming in flat, looking for longs, looking for shorts. This is a great trading environment. When I say great, I mean a great day trading environment. Day traders, should be happy with this type of trading as you're getting large directional moves, on a daily basis, but, there's just no commitment to a particular direction. So what does this mean for next week? Well, it means I would anticipate more of the same. You might see one, another up day and then, some down days. And I'd expect more of this lack of commitment type of trading. And like I've said many, many times in midday calls and morning calls and, any content that I provide, less is more. And if you're day trading, go home flat, come in flat. Manage trades accordingly. Today in the VTF, somebody gave a good 13-minute buy setup in Target. And this is exactly, what the trade was. This big impulse up, 3-bar pullback into a rising average. And there was opportunity abundant. So these are great day trading type of markets, and you're getting, lots of opportunity. But like I said, with the general indexes, not a whole lot of directional movement. And follow through is really the best way to say it. You're not seeing a lot of follow through. On Tuesday of this week, we had a big move down. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday takes it all back. Just like the prior week, we saw a large move up, and we took that all back. So it's a lot of hit and miss trading, non-directional. Here's a weekly of the spiders. You can see we basically are going to open and close relatively in the same spot. But everything's still intact. Nothing really changing here. So more time is needed before I believe we'll see more of a trending type of trade. Right now, it's like I said, a day trader's dream. Let's take a look at the banks. We'll start with JP Morgan. We're still here into these declining averages on the weekly. We did see a big rise today off the earnings report. We'll take a look at the daily. This is constructive action for those looking for, a breakout above that 37 mark. Where we had prior resistance. So we need to keep an eye on JP Morgan as it could lead, and the banks could leg up. Goldman Sachs, again, still not through that resistance level that I'd like to see it get through for a trade, which is just below 100. But again, showing positive price action today for those looking to be long. This 90 level down here we thought would be a tradable bottom, as it was tested once and retested successfully here, and we have turned up. So keep an eye on the banks into next week, and I suspect as the individual banks report, you'll get some individual names that start to perform. Wells Fargo, another name that had earnings, showing good strength today, right off the open. Very interesting that we didn't really see a gap there, and it actually traded higher, which is good. Good volume today. We still need to keep an eye on that weekly major resistance level that I talked about in the morning call. That's just about 34.50. 34 and a quarter, close to 35. I'd like to see the stock, convincingly get through 35 on good volume here. that would really be a nice breakout here from what is a multi-year, at this point, a multi-year sort of consolidation pattern. So we'll keep an eye on Wells Fargo in the coming days, but very constructive on the bullish camp today. And the S&Ps, acting in accordance with the banks. Banks showed great strength today. So did the actual the S&Ps and the indexes. Let's take a look at the SPY on a smaller time frame. Not even really any bit of a pullback today. We opened. We just rallied straight up at the open with the banks, and then from basically 10 o'clock through what is now about 3:45. A few minutes left here before we close. It's just a slow grind higher. Really no pullback at all whatsoever today. And I suspect we'll probably close in and around this upper 35 to even 36s. So really interesting trading day today, as it really was. If you weren't participating from the open, which was probably not the easiest trade, not much. Although we did close very strong and it was a very positive day, not much of an opportunity to really ever get involved here for the longs. You kind of had to chase the price. And me personally, I'm never a believer in that. I'm always looking if I like something long or short, I'll always look to buy a pullback, or I'll always look to short a bounce. When things don't pull back, it makes, just sometimes mean you couldn't participate. So I know a lot of traders today were frustrated because, they wanted to be long, but the market never gave them a chance to really get involved up until the very, very end here in the last, weaning minutes of the trading session, which is always a much more difficult, higher risk place to get involved with something. So, it is what it is. And we still remain in this pattern. We still need to monitor this pattern on a day-by-day basis for clues and signs of what, could happen. Could we come up and, test this upper, 36.90, 37 area in the SPYs, come next week? We could. Anything is possible and plausible here. We definitely have the potential to go higher, and one could certainly make the argument that we could break down. So, trade this market with a very, very, risk-averse nature. Day trading is a very, very good way to approach trading, like I said, with a low-risk style. You don't always have to look for huge breakouts and trends. At some point, don't know when it's going to be, there will be a trending market. Can't tell you which direction, and I can't tell you when. All I can tell you is we can evaluate the signs and the structure as it develops on a day-by-day basis. That is our job as analysts. Let's take a look at a couple other symbols. Nike was another stock we talked about in the morning call. This is a textbook trade here. Mean reversion. First, we get that gap down. We trade back to the 8. It holds the 8 for about 4 or 5 days, and then we get that second leg back to the 21 EMA, which, as I said this morning, around $95, $96. And you can see that trade working nicely today, as the stock, I suspect, will probably get back into this 21 early next week, if not on a gap up come Monday. So we'll keep an eye on that trade to follow through. Some other symbols that were mentioned this morning, Apple. Not much of a day here. We did, let me get some of these lines off here. We did, come up a little bit today, but, relative to the strength you saw in the market and the index, rallying like it did, kind of a muted session here. The open and the close, pretty much the same, maybe a closing slightly higher than where it opening, but very, very, considering the stock and the enthusiasm here, I would say it's a pretty nothing day here. And we'll have to continue to monitor this on a day-by-day basis. Again, that line in the sand that I've talked about is 620, in that general area. So we'll keep an eye on Apple as the days progress and as it goes into earnings. I suspect it's going to be this way for a lot of these symbols that are, going to report. Next week is a big week for earnings. You have Google kicking off technology. I think it's Thursday of next week, and then I believe Apple's not, shortly after that, maybe the following week. So, keep an eye on the individual names as they develop. As we get into earnings seasons, you're going to see a lot more, stock-specific trades versus maybe broader index trades. But we'll continue to evaluate. Anytime you get a big name reporting like a bank or a big component, the market's gonna have a reaction to it. So let's keep an eye on how things continue to play out. One sector that I've been watching, transports and industrials. This is Caterpillar. Been in a pretty steep downtrend. So there are some, bigger cap stocks that I watch. FedEx, another one that I watch closely. FedEx looks good here. Might look to break higher. So it really is a mixed bag when you look across the spectrum of stocks. Retail has become very weak. Some technology stocks look good. Banks, starting to perk up a little bit. We're going to keep an eye on those. So you have what has been for the last couple of months a handful of stocks that are the haves and the have-nots. And you can make money in the have-nots. You just have to know how to trade them. And you can make money in the haves. Again, you have to just know how to trade them. And it's a very tactical trading market right now. It's not just, be net long or be net short, because that trade just isn't going to work right now. And at some point, that trade might work, but right now, that's not the path of least resistance. So as far as a recap goes, the theme is what the theme is, and that theme is really day trading, short-term price movement, tactical trading. And as we get into the next couple of weeks, there's going to be a good earnings trade at some point in some of these symbols. So we'll keep an eye on that as they develop day by day by day. Have a great weekend, everybody. Don't forget about the Active Trader Summit tomorrow. If you don't put in the time, you don't commit the effort to come and listen and learn, it's going to be hard to better yourself as a trader. And my whole, my personal trading, me personally, was built on education. I pride myself on the decisions that I make are rooted in the fact that I understand why things are happening. And the reason that is because I'm an educated trader. An educated trader ultimately will be a profitable trader, in my opinion. As always, have a great weekend. Take care, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow.
Hello, everybody. My name is Pete Renzulli, Chief Marketing Officer of T3Live.com and one of the traders in the active mentor room for T3 Trading Group. What I'd like to do today is I'm really excited about introducing you to and inviting you to the first T3 Live Active Trader Summit in New York City, which is on Saturday, July 14th. We're going to have quite a few speakers today. There's going to be myself, Mike Lee, Evan Lazarus, Mark Sperling, Rob Smith, Rick Meadows. There's going to be a ton of great content, but the number one reason you want to come is you want to be able to network and associate with other like-minded people like myself. I'm going to pump you up. I'm going to guarantee you that. Other people like yourself who have a burning desire to learn how to be a trader. So I'm going to ask you to make a trade. Trade one Saturday for some of your time to come down and learn strategies, tactics, techniques, and put some faces to the people that you see in the virtual trading floor in T3 Live, and learn to take your trading bigger. Learn how to be a better trader than you are now. Learn the strategies. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't stress that. I know it's a Saturday, but you know what? I want you to be there, to get excited, and to be here. Prove to yourself how bad you want it. Show up and come down and get excited with us. Saturday, July 14th. Now, very quickly for the registration. All you have to do is register at T3Live.com or be an existing member of T3Live.com, and you get 2 complimentary admission tickets for free. So all you have to do is go to T3Live.com and register. If you would like to join us at the post-event cocktail reception, you can also upgrade to either premium or VIP. That's up to you, but either way, please take advantage of the general admission, 2 free tickets. Bring a friend, bring a neighbor, bring a wife, bring a girlfriend, maybe bring both, but come down and expect to have a great time. Saturday, July 14th here in New York City.